This way people could book, not only just book, but they can cancel, reschedule, etc. when they get the emails. You have recently introduced the text messages as well, which has been helpful. So people get a ping a couple of hours for us anyway, prior to their appointments so that they are reminded.
So I'm here with David Jakovac. Thank you so much for joining us. He's from Altitude Performance, and he's very kindly agreed to be part of our customer showcase today. So welcome. Thank you so much, David, for joining us.
Thank you. I love being here.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about what you do and what your business is.
Yeah, so the business is Altitude Performance and Health. We started up in Vancouver about 10 years ago. And it was about a year prior to that I was sitting down reading a Wall Street Journal article about Novak Djokovic, the tennis player. And this particular article talked about how he became the #1 tennis player in the world because for a number of years he was always number 2, number 3. And in the article, it talked about what did he finally do to break into the #1 spot. And so one of the things that it said was he started using these CVAC pods. And I have a background in fitness, and I'm always curious what these new technologies can do. And so I looked into it a little bit. I read some reviews. Everything was 5 stars, which is kind of unusual because there's not a lot of places that actually had them available to the public. There's a lot of private clubs, private individuals that bought these CVAC systems, multi-baric systems. And it got me intrigued enough that I talked to my wife and I said, well, they're made in California, which is a few hours drive away. So we decided to make a week of it. And we went down and went to one of the clubs where they had this. And my wife and myself used them every day, Monday to Friday, twice a day when we could, and just see what it felt like. And my wife had been in a very bad car accident about 8 years prior to us meeting, so much so that when we were dating, I'd have to hold her hand just walking downstairs because she had very bad back, hip, and knee pain. And so when we went and tried the pods out on Thursday morning, she got out of the pod, and it was the first time that she was pain-free in 8 years. And for myself, coincidentally, that same morning, I didn't have any issues. But that morning, I just felt really energized. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to get out there and be physically active, right? And so I wanted to go for a nice long walk or what have you. But it was because of my wife's experience, primarily, that we decided, well, let's bring these multi-baric pods up to Canada. And we were the first place in Canada to open up and have them available to the public. And so that's how we started 10 years ago. We have 3 pods at our facility, and yeah, we've been helping people ever since. And in fact, one of the first people that we had before we even officially opened was my mom, who was in her mid-80s at the time. And she had an open wound on her leg for 6 years just because of poor circulation. It wouldn't heal up. And so she'd have a nurse come in twice a day, or twice a week, sorry, to clean up the wound, change the bandages, etc. And for 6 years, she'd had this issue. And she even had a surgery to move a vein from her arm to her leg to try and increase circulation. It just didn't work. So this was what she was resigned to have to do. And so when we first got the pods set up, we brought my parents in, and after 2 weeks and 6 hours worth of sessions, the wound healed up and it never came back. So we were very excited, to say the least. So it wasn't just my wife, it was my mom. And then, once we opened, then we've been able to help a myriad of people who've come through the doors.
And so tell me, if you can, briefly, what it does. Tell me what it is.
So multi-baric, meaning we are continuously changing the air pressure, density, temperature inside the pod. And what that does is it kind of acts like a pump for the body. So it's compressing and opening up the cells, compressing, opening up the cells. And so what that does is it naturally allows the body to absorb more oxygen while you're inside, even though we're not putting any extra oxygen in, because of the continuous changes in pressure, up to 500 times in 20 minutes. This triggers the body to naturally absorb more oxygen, but At the same time, that pumping action also helps move the lymphatic system. And that's kind of almost a sewer system for the body. So any kind of cell waste and toxins and everything get out of the cells into the lymphatic system and disposed of by the body. But because we live such a sedentary lifestyle, the lymphatic system moves when the muscles move, right? Unlike the circulatory system that is pumped by the heart, the lymphatic system moves when your muscles move. So it's got a series of one-way valves. So as your muscles contract and relax, it pushes the lymphatic fluid forward.
One of the questions is like kind of what's the problem that you've fallen in love with? Like, what are you really passionate about? Tell me, like, what is it that drives you in this business?
Honestly, it's just being able to help as many people as possible. And I think that's the biggest joy is when people are coming in saying, I don't know if it's the pod, but, and everybody says that.
What keeps you up at night then? What do you worry about?
I thought for sure after our experience, we'd go out. We went to a few health shows, trade shows, that type of thing. But when you walk around these health shows, every single booth has a product that will save you from everything short of death. How do I get past all the other noise of all these other products that claim that they can do all these things and get to a point where people will trust me enough to come in and see how this will help to take care of whatever is ailing them.
What kind of tools are you using that you're able to, I mean, you're using what YouCanBookMe, but what else do you use to help you? And which ones do you love? Which would you recommend to other people?
In terms of tools, we use YouCanBookMe. That's about it. Everything's done on paper, people's sessions that they purchase, as the sessions get used, everything's done on paper. It's almost like a doctor's office. We've got tons and tons of files in our drawers. Yeah, my wife is here primarily throughout the week. I'm usually at the other business and we kind of spell each other off as required, but primarily it's my wife, Melissa, who is here at Altitude. And so again, like I said, she has a great fitness background, nutrition, etc. And so she's able to take care of our clients really well. And aside from her, she is everything we need.
She's a walking advertisement, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so what's the best piece of business advice? Now, this could be from either of your companies, but what's the best piece of business advice you could give someone? Or think of it another way, if you were starting again, what would you tell yourself to do differently?
What I would tell myself to do differently is become a bit more specialized in how we present the product. Because I was given that advice prior to starting that tell everybody because it will help everybody. And that was way too broad. It took too long to grow. And so I would probably have specifically targeted athletes to start. And then as they come in, then you can start broadening that spectrum a little bit more.
So tell me a little bit about what led you to using YouCanBookMe.
Honestly, at the time, we were just looking for some kind of a booking software that would allow us to not have to take calls all the time for people looking to come in, but they could do it online. And I looked at the various options out there at the time, and YouCanBookMe was great. It just seemed to tick all the boxes for what we needed. It was a good price because we're a young up and coming business.
And presumably not having to enter the phone is helpful if you're actually running another business at the same time, like you're not necessarily there. So in terms of that kind of automation, it must be very helpful as well.
Absolutely. So like I said, my wife is the one that takes care of Altitude. So she's the one that takes care of the calls and what have you. But this way people could book, not only just book, but they can cancel, reschedule, etc. when they get the emails. You have recently introduced the text messages as well, which has been helpful. So people get a ping a couple of hours for us anyway, prior to their appointments so that they are reminded. So everything worked really seamlessly, and it's just been really easy to keep track of everything.
Are you ready for the lightning round?
Okay, let's do it.
I've got a couple of questions. So would you rather throw out your phone or your laptop?
Well, it has to be my laptop.
And would you rather get a new customer or double your sales to an existing customer?
I think I'd rather get a new customer. New customers are the hardest to get.
Would you rather speak at a huge conference all about improving performance, presumably, or make a new sale?
Speak at a performance in a big setting. I find that getting the word out is the most difficult part.
Okay, one last question. Yeah. So would you rather be known for product quality or customer service?
So I can't see how you can really distinguish one over the other. You have to have both for your business to be thriving. So I can't answer that.
Thank you so much for spending so much
Yeah.
your time with us. It's been fascinating learning about your business, and really, really been a pleasure. And thank you so much for using You Can Book Me for 10 years and for recommending it to people. You're one of our very longest serving customers. So thank you very, very much
Wonderful.
for all you've done. And let us know if we can
Thank
help you with anything else.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's really been a lot of fun.